the ultimately source of inner strength, source of peace, is not on money, not on power, but not only on our intelligence or knowledge, but warm-heartedness. There's nothing to do with religion. Even now, modern scientists, they say, more compassionate person, you get more peace of mind. That immense benefit for our health and a happier human family. So, my commitment to promotion of human value, that means mainly promotion of warm-heartedness. The subject was power of women. This also quite my favorite sort of topic. Women should take more active role in the society. In sort of very early period of human, at that time, no concept of leadership. All equal. Work together. Whatever they get, something edible, share equally. Then population increase, so then quarrels, stealings, then the concept of leadership come. So in order to become leader of the community, a strong physical sort of body, right? So that is the beginning of male dominance. So now, we are 21st century. Modern education basically is oriented about material values. Like Japan, materially highly developed. Education also good. But number of cases of suicide among the young student also increasing. What's wrong? And like New York or Los Angeles, big cities, millions and millions of people live together, but many of them feel lonely. Social problems, particularly unrest or violence among the younger generation. So the participants, some scientists, some doctors, some social workers, like that. And then all sort of agree, existing sort of system, the lack of human affection, firstly in the family, and whole atmosphere, lack of affection. Without that, no genuine cooperation, too much competition. That brings suspicion, distrust. That brings loneliness. So therefore, the existing modern education system, I think one-sided, only concerned about brain development and neglect about warm-heartedness, sense of responsibility. So now, we really need more effort for promotion of warm-heartedness. Very young age period, lacking love, compassion, affection from parent or without a parent. And deep inside, some sense of insecurity. Eventually, so I think more sort of female, mature female leadership comes. I think less danger of violence. I really feel. But not yet tested. Oh, future Dalai Lama could be female Dalai Lama. That's my sort of reason. I really feel. So, in any way, the female, as you mentioned, our mother. Mother is the foundation of happy family. That I feel now time is come. We really need more effort regarding promotion of warm-heartedness, affection, compassion. Here, female should take more active role regarding promotion of these inner value.
In medical news tonight, lessons from the heart. Many ancient doctors believed quite sincerely that the heart was the seat of the mind, the organ which warmed the blood and fueled the spirit. Modern science tells us the heart is merely a pump. But maybe it's more than that after all.
Here's how it works. The heart has the same peptides or amino acids that are secreted from the brain. Because of these peptides, the heart functions much like the brain, which makes the likelihood of a link between our hearts and our health that much greater.
The human heart emits an electromagnetic field that surrounds the entire body and extends at least 15 feet in every direction. This field sends signals to every cell in your body, affecting physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being.
Studies done here have shown the heart can send powerful calming and healing commands to the entire body. It works because the heart actually works like a small brain. It not only controls itself, but also can direct that big brain in our head.
The heart itself has a complex nervous system within the heart itself, which has given rise to a new field in medicine called neurocardiology. And long story short, basically we now have to think of the human heart as having its own intrinsic little brain in the heart itself that processes information. It's an intelligent system, basically. And the second point here is that the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Now that may sound surprising to a lot of you, but that's actually been known since the late 1800s. If we look in the autonomic nervous system, for example, on the vagus nerves, which are the primary nerves of what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, 85 to 90% of those fibers, and there are many, many thousands of them, are carrying information from the body, but especially the heart, up to the brain. So only 10% are down from the brain to the body.
Well, let's talk for a second about stress. People can relate to that. When you're emotionally upset, you produce stress hormones. So things like cortisol, which raise blood sugar, adrenaline, which raise blood pressure, increase the heart rate, make the heart skip beats, and constrict coronaries.
But more than anything else, stress and anger can profoundly disrupt the brain-heart connection.
I call it the physiology of why anger makes you stupid, or why very intelligent people can often make very inefficient choices. If we're stressed a lot, feeling anxiety or frustrated or angry, that causes the heart to beat in a more chaotic rhythm and pattern, and that's creating less efficiency in the heart. It's having to work harder. If we're feeling time pressure, frustrated, anxious, worried, these type of things, that causes cortical inhibition, okay, which means we can't think as clearly, can't move as quickly, our coordination's affected in an adverse way. So by focusing our attention in the area of the heart and shifting to a positive emotional state, and that affects the information sent up to the brain so that we can think clearer, reduce stress in the moment, make better decisions.
That when our hearts are calm, hormone levels that influence the immune system become more balanced.
Heart-brain interactions, how the heart and the brain communicate with each other and how that affects consciousness and our perceptions. One of the things we identified in our research was the state we now call coherence. And what we found was that when we're feeling positive emotions, like we're really appreciating the sunset, or really feeling love or compassion or care for someone, that the heart beats out a very different message. The heart generates by far the largest rhythmic electromagnetic field produced in the body. And what we've now found is that if we look at the spectrum analysis of the magnetic field radiated by the heart, that emotional information is actually encoded and modulating into those fields. So by learning to shift our emotions, that's changing the information we're encoding into the magnetic fields radiated by the heart, and that can impact those around us. We are fundamentally and deeply interconnected with each other, and the planet itself. And what we do individually really does count and matters.
And if negative emotions, anger, frustration, depression, can impact the heart negatively, can someone who is happy, who is joyous, who walks around with a great sense of humor and a positive outlook, does that positively impact their heart? Is there a physiological measurement of that?
Absolutely, because when we are in a happy emotional state, as you just saw in the Heartmath program, the heart beats in a coherent rhythm.
When you begin to shift the heart, it begins to shift the rest of the body. Shift your attention away from that traffic and to the area right in the center of your chest, the area of the heart.
The key is to get that small brain in the heart to calm down. The computer shows the changing heart rhythms.
Now what I'd like you to do is to recall a positive feeling or time you've had in your life and attempt to re-experience it.
Remarkably, simply by recalling a positive emotion, the heart rhythms smooth out in just a few minutes.
When we're able to maintain a positive state, that helps people recover from congestive heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure.
We do know that humans that intentionally create heart coherence in their own field have a positive impact upon their own health and well-being. Creating heart coherence also has a positive impact upon those around us. The extent to which creating individual coherence can have an impact on global coherence is being tested right now.
We are members of one consciousness field. We are members of one breath, which the Jews call the Ruach Adonai, the Muslims call the Ruh, the Greeks call Kanefma, the Hindus call Brahman. Then we have spontaneous divine attributes. These are loving kindness, compassion, equanimity, and joy at the success of others. The more successful other people are, the more you feel happy because you feel you are part of them and they are part of you. And when you put your attention on the heart and even think these words, you contemplate on joy, on peace, on happiness, on compassion. Contemplation means that you hold the idea in your consciousness while at the same time putting attention in your heart, whether it's on peace or harmony or laughter or love or joy or compassion or kindness, then your heart is structurally different. It shifts. The heart also generates an electromagnetic field which causes every cell in the body to cohere, to fall in alignment with that field, including your brain waves, because the heart has something called a pacemaker which requires 100 cells to synchronistically fire in order for a healthy heart to function. The more we are feeling a sense of connection with sentient beings and life on the planet as part of the ecosystem, the healthier your heart will be. In fact, now there are studies that the #1 risk factor for premature death from cardiovascular disease is hostility and resentments and what is called cynical mistrust.
We really need to get people to work on things like forgiveness, gratitude, look at whether they're angry or hostile. These are important when it relates to the heart.
Hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Athans, and most people think that the heart is just a pump. There is so much research recently talking about how the heart has intelligence, how the heart feels, how the heart has memory. I go even further and say your heart is the place of wisdom. If you can connect with your heart, the heart will balance all the organs in your body, and it will tell your brain in your head what to do and how to do it in a balanced way.
The electromagnetic human heart field is a powerful source of energy and information that literally tells all the cells in your body what to do. It exists within and is a part of a universal ocean of electromagnetic energy and information which can be accessed by the human mind when it connects to the heart. The information that can be accessed by the mind through the heart is what we call heart intelligence. It includes and transcends the information we gain through 5 physical senses, adding a new dimension to human intelligence that expands human consciousness and empowers the mind.
The heart is 5,000 times more magnetic than the brain. It is 60 times more electric than the brain. When you are at peace, coherent, and feeling love, your DNA unwinds, reproduces, and carries on the processes of life. When you are stressed, anxious, and incoherent, it tightens up and puts itself into a protective mode. Your heart contains its own knowledge. It has its own brain, and it contains its own nervous system. Your heart stars the knowledge of what you really desire, what will bring you to a state of the greatest sense of peace, and is only awaiting your attention to its knowledge base.
How can you say that two hearts are linked with each other? Consciously?
We were teaching the science of empathy by measurement, my heart tuner invention, and it's very simple. We take a second-order power spectrum of the electrocardiogram, and we can instantly tell where the musical fundamental of two people's hearts is lining up. Yeah, the animations are all on the website. So musically, you can actually teach more than two people to link hearts. It's the physics of Tantra, because when two auras are musically entrained, you have this magic moment when you feel charge passing between the two bodies. You know, the music of your heart, and your heart just happens to become the heart becomes a laser when you feel love. We know that when 1 million children sing the same song at the same moment, the effect on the solar flares is dramatic and measurable and replicable. So we know we have what it takes to steer the sun.
This is all music. This is all music to our hearts.
Living in the heart and having the intelligence of the heart is a different thing than having the intelligence of the mind. And the intelligence of the heart is aware of an underlying unity. It's a place where we can all relate because there is love there.
Our heart literally has its own brain. It is called neural intelligence. And it is the heart intelligence that our ancestors understood that gives new meaning to the role of the human heart in our lives today. And what we now know is that our heart sends the signals to the brain that trigger the chemistry in the brain that's released into the body. The electrical signal between the heart and the brain is the key to understanding this relationship. And when we're feeling the feelings that allow us to experience 0.10 cycles per second, that is when our coherence is optimum. That's when we're sending the optimum signal between our heart and our brain. That's when our brain begins to release life-affirming chemistry into our bodies. Healing chemistry, our immune systems are strongly enhanced. Our anti-aging hormones, such as DHEA, increase 100%. What the science now is showing is that those experiences extend beyond our bodies into the world around us, because the field of our heart is part of the world around us and connected with that field. So that when individuals can find a way to create coherence in their lives and become more cooperative, less aggressive, more willing to solve problems together, that experience is transmitted in this field and others begin to find the same experience just because they're in that field, without consciously doing anything else. What this means is that relatively few number of people that learn the language of the heart can benefit many people in our world.
You should open your heart. That's it. Mine is a little shut down now, but you should open your heart. It's like, my heart will open when yours does, but you do it first. So the whole planet is waiting for someone to do it first. What happened one day was I just thought, let it begin with me.
Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. To love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. There is no reason not to follow your heart.
Athans, you're a person that speaks a lot about the sacred space of the heart and living in the heart.
Was by being centered in the heart and not in the brain. And today, almost everybody on earth is centered in their brain. And it is a real problem. As you can see, the world is dying because of it, because we don't have any heart and we don't care about anybody else. The true emotional body is in your heart, and it's not polarized. And so if we feel love here, we're really loving someone from our brain, not from our heart. And it's really obvious. If we could be so much in love with somebody and we could be talking away, and then our lover says to us something that we don't like, and we get mad at them instantly, just like that. But if we were in our hearts, it wouldn't matter what they said to us or even what they did to us. We would unconditionally love them no matter what. The part of the body that is the most important part, beyond any doubt whatsoever, is the heart. Far greater than the brain. And I can prove that.
All right.
Where when you're inside your mother's womb, where you are a heart, nothing else. You don't have any brain, you don't have any arms and legs, you don't have any eyes, you don't have anything. You're just a heart, and you start beating. The first thing that comes out of the heart is the tip of the tongue. There is a sac that contains the heart that comes up through here, up through the chest, and it ends in the tongue. The tongue is physically connected directly to the heart. This is why there's this importance between the tip of the tongue. On the roof of the mouth, there is a very specific spot that is connected directly to the thalamus. But the reason the tongue is so important is because in the heart there is a tiny little space. It's called the sacred place of the heart. It was written in the Upanishads in India 5,000 years ago. Those about you that are studying Kundalini or Kriya Yoga, you're told that you have to put the roof of the tongue on the roof of the mouth in a certain way.
Just a warmth in the heart area. And so the more and more that I did that, the easier and easier it got to just remember to go in the heart. And when I go there, my main feeling is slow and flow and faith. Those are the three words that came to me. I begin walking slower, or if I notice myself start to rev up because of all the anxiety and fear that's on the planet right now, I'll just stop and go slow again, connect with the heart, and then it's slow, and then follow the flow in faith. And what I find about the heart center area is it's very in the now, and it's very gentle. And it's almost like I cannot think thoughts that are jagged or unloving. Be in your heart, connect with that feeling of love and Mother Earth, Father Sky, the Trinity, between the Mother, the Father, and you, the beloved me.
Of the power of the heart.
Go to your heart. Listen to your heart. Follow your heart. You will find your balance and your passion because your intuition, your inner knowing, comes from your balanced heart.
Step one being focus your attention in the area around your heart.
These employees at Stanford are feeling stressed, but the University Medical School is now offering stress management training.
Step two being breathe in a steady rhythm. Imagine you could breathe in and out through the heart.
We saw a close-up demonstration at the office of San Francisco psychologist Corey Birkin. He used the M-Wave software to guide a patient through a series of steps. The system monitors pulse as the patient visualizes his positive feelings and regulates his breathing. The waves on the left side of the screen represent an optimal heart rate when a person is relaxed.
You see, we want your breathing here
to look just like the coach, like the pacer.
Within a few minutes, the patient's heart rate is roughly in line, what the M-Wave system calls reaching coherence.
So by using this method, he is able to produce a state of what we call coherence. That's that nice smooth wave where his breathing is even and his heart rate is even.
Companies including Hewlett-Packard, Boeing, and Cisco have offered similar training. Stanford has scheduled another session for later this month for faculty and campus employees.
Hands over your heart.
Focusing on the heart also works for children. At New Horizons School in Fremont, California, teacher Santa Maria Johnson instructs her first grade class.
We're going to get rid of all of our stresses.
It gets all the sad feelings that happened to me at the playground.
Every time?
Mm-hmm.
There is a marked difference in their attitudes and behaviors inside of the classroom.
For children and adults, behaviors that come from the heart. Deborah Amos, ABC News, Boulder Creek, California.